All right, Cowherd, does LeBron deserve credit for fixing the All-Star game?
Yeah, because the format is overrated, and I'll tell you why. There's an old saying in business that you can have a great idea, but it's irrelevant if you don't have the right people to implement the idea. I learned that from Mark Cuban. The format, the operation, the architecture, it's just furniture. All the same pieces were there. The reason that game was better is because the league and the players have always followed LeBron, and LeBron's like, fellas, we're going to play some defense. We're going to at least compete. It's all the same pieces. It's all the same players. But the player that they follow politically, the player that leads them on the ESPYs, the player that leads them in player empowerment was like, fellas, early in the game, Chris, there was a steal. We're going to compete, guys, because this game's in trouble. Last year it was an absolute abomination. And it wasn't because the players aren't good. It's because it was a layup drill. It was embarrassing.
I think fixing is the word that I'm going to focus on. I think he improved. I'll give him credit for improving the All-Star game. But it was not fixed. I'm a casual watcher of the game. I watch it kind of with the sound down. I needed a name on the damn jerseys because I couldn't track whose team I was watching because I couldn't remember which color jersey was LeBron, which color jersey was Steph. And so I had to look, well, where's LeBron? Okay, LeBron's on the court. It says, when LeBron and Steph were on the court, it was very hard for me to know which team was which. Again, I think they played hard the last 2 minutes. And hard. I think they had an improved effort going up to the last 2 minutes, the first 46 minutes. But in terms of playing hard, it was the last 2 minutes, and that was exciting, and that was, good competition. There was more effort leading up to that. The game was improved.
Who gets credit for that, though?
LeBron James does, and I would give Steph Curry and the league.
It certainly wasn't Steph, and I'm a huge Steph Curry fan, but Steph is eating popcorn. Look at that. He's eating popcorn on the bench in the third quarter. This is after he laid down in a previous All-Star game and let Giannis dunk on him. So Steph has kind of had a lighthearted approach to the All-Star game, and I think LeBron came with a serious approach last night. Look, there were certainly moments early on where they weren't playing as hard, but I can't remember seeing an All-Star game where the last few minutes of the game they competed like that. I mean, there were borderline hard fouls. They were contesting layups and dunks at the rim. I mean, it was good to see. And, you can still make some improvements. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt putting the name on the jersey. But you're not going to put LeBron and Steph on each jersey.
Give them some kind of name.
It reminded me of 2002 in Washington. Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson led this incredible comeback, and everybody said the All-Star game is fixed then, and it wasn't. I think we've set the bar too low. We're sitting here going, they played defense, as if, it's like a coach saying, he showed up on time. He actually worked hard. That's part of your contract. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play defense. You're supposed to actually care that these fans have come to see you. It's not all corporate sponsors, and it's actually a game that you said it was going to be better because it's now a pickup game at the park. It's like you chose sides.
So you think it was better?
I think it was better, but I'm not going to go crazy with adulation. I also don't give LeBron James that much credit. Adam Silver still has to make the call. He has to still say, we're going to do this with the All-Star game. LeBron James, you're right, led anyway, but I just think that it's part of your job, and you just need to, I think we have the bar so low, and now we've just kind of barely cleared it.
If there's not much that's special anymore, the Olympics are finding this out.
Oh, yeah.
20 years ago, the Olympics I'd sit and watch gymnastics for 2 hours. I mean, I've watched 5 minutes, maybe 10 of the Olympics.
It's going on right now?
Yes.
That's 10 more than I've watched.
The point is, every college game's on. I mean, you and I can watch, literally, you can watch Ball State if you have a satellite dish.
I do, every day.
And you bet it. I mean, you're all in. And I think the point is, All-Star games aren't what they used to be. Because I can watch the Milwaukee Bucks in Denver. So it's not like I'm seeing the Greek Freak. If he wasn't on national TV in the 70s, I'm like, you got to see this guy. We have to understand the world's changed. We get more of the pie, but we get dessert all the time now. Every night of the week's a dessert.
But again, I think my point, and maybe what Mike's alluding to, if you really want to fix the All-Star game, you still have to do more to make it great competition, because that's what I think sports somehow is getting away from, is people don't understand. People pay to see great competition. People want to see the best athletes or the best people in the world compete for something that matters. And so again, if you really want to fix the All-Star game, put some real money on the line and make these guys compete for that.
But do you need real regular season level competition or playoff intensity?
Yes.
You're not good. Why?
Because that's what, again, I'm...
Why in a game that doesn't matter, where
Make the game matter.
God forbid,
You said
a
it
player go
mattered
out there and
yesterday.
get hurt. I mean, it matters for entertainment, but if a player went out there and got hurt, if Kevin Durant got hurt yesterday because they're all going hard, I want them to go at summer league level. Like, if they meet up at the Drew League and play, I want that level of competition. I want some competition where you want to win, but I don't want you to go all out where somebody might get hurt.
Whitlock, did the iffy entertainment overshadow the game?
Yes. Yes, it did. And because, again, this is why I say the game hasn't been fixed. Because this is what you're going to remember about the 2018 All-Star game. Fergie's going to be first. She had to apologize for her national anthem. She tried to sexualize the national anthem, and it blew up in her face. Nice dress, by the way, Fergie. Love that. Then Kevin Hart went on and on and on with his pregame introduction, and it's just like, when's this ever going to end? Why is Kevin Hart? I've seen him at the Super Bowl drunk trying to get on stage. Now I got him in the middle of the NBA All-Star game for 40 minutes. And then the last thing, which I would say was a positive, but it's the other thing I'll remember from this, is whoever the young lady was twerking at halftime. Yeah. I thought she did a tremendous job. Those are the three highlight moments from the All-Star.
Serious?
I'm dead serious. She was awesome.
I would say this. I think the NBA has to realize we go to a steakhouse for the steak. Everything else is great, but this is about the basketball game. And if you're going to work on stuff, the dunk contest, the skills competition, I think the argument could be made, although I thought the halftime was wildly entertaining. I think it's unraveling a little bit on the edges. And if you want to bring it back into more basketball-centric, but, you know, there are those who would argue, I think you're the one that first told me this, or this is seen as an African-American cultural weekend of note. And so is the NBA saying, listen, this just isn't about basketball. This is about artists and comedians. So I think the NBA is saying, listen, this is not a basketball-centric weekend. Basketball's part of the weekend. Are they making that argument? Because then they've got a good defense against guys like me who say, isn't it about hoops?
I think they've gone a little too far. It's too long. I mean, you can have some entertainment, which they have, but every year it seems they go further and further and further. Look, they're lucky the game was good. If the game had been like it was last year or 2 years ago or whatever, this is all people would be talking about. And I think people would be panning the entire All-Star weekend because they're saying this has gotten out of control and then the game is a mess. So the fact that the game was competitive, I think that took some of the attention away from what was too long of an introduction.
First of all, I'm Kevin Harted out. I can't do another moment of Kevin Hart. I mean, I feel like it's like going to McDonald's in Guam. I don't want to see a McDonald's in Guam. Like you know, it's too franchised at some point. And so, you know, and Fergie. I mean, Whitney's legacy is safe. Marvin Gaye's legacy is safe. Roseanne Barr's legacy could be safe after this. I mean, this. I felt like I was in an intimate relationship with her after she got done. It was like JFK wouldn't have gotten more excited if Marilyn Monroe had popped out of the cake.
Yeah.
What is that? That wasn't a national anthem. When you make the song more about yourself than the actual song, I think I have a problem with it.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye, some would argue, did, but Marvin was such a transformative talent, he pulled it off.
And like you said, she tried to make it sultry. The national anthem is not supposed to be sultry.
Marvin Gaye was never in the Black Eyed Peas. That would be the first thing.
I thought she was a rapper. Why wouldn't she rap? I mean,
Black Eyed Peas aren't even claiming her today.
Kevin Hart thinks he's Kevin Bacon. You can put bacon on anything and it makes it better.
6 degrees of separation, too.
You put bacon on anything, it makes it better. Kevin Hart is not the same.
You know, because remember when Will Ferrell introduced the Chicago Bulls one regular season game? That was good. He wasn't roasting the players. Like, I don't think that format is bad automatically. Like, if his jokes had been funny if he hadn't really taken shots at the players but just said funny lines, I think it would have worked.
It was
he
the
just wasn't
length,
funny.
Chris. It was the
He
length.
was too long and he wasn't funny.
I literally think it started at 5, and I looked up and I was like, it's 5:42, and they're tipping the ball off. That's incredible. And again, the NBA, they ran into this situation during the NBA Finals a few years ago. I can't remember the exact year, but they had so much stuff going on during the pregame. I remember saying to David Stern and writing at that time, I was like, hey, man, let the game be the star.
Right.
And, you know, you got such a great game. You don't need to smother it in all this other stuff. And again, that's what this feels like. It feels insecure that we know the basketball's not good enough, and we know these guys may not play hard. So let's put on this wild-ass show and entertain everybody. But again, you got to remember, everybody is so caught up in sports leagues in not serving their base, the real fans. Let's try to appeal to everybody else except for the real fans, and that's how you make this mistake.